She came in with a check for the full balance of the car.
Cashier's check?
No, it was a personal check of her sister's.
Oh, with her sister's name on the check.
Yes.
Oh.
What's up, you car mother lovers? Welcome back to another episode of the Curb Appeal TV podcast. I'm your host, Phil. That's your other host, Jackson.
Welcome on.
And today we're joined by a lifelong friend, best friend of over 20 plus years, musician, artist, just overall good dude, Trevor Sheffield. Welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me on.
Yes, sir. So what's been up, bro?
Man, just trying to push forward as far as the music. We just recently released a single. You can find us at no.namers. Been probably working on what you could call a project for about a year and some change now. And got a little bit of a catalog built up and just, like I said, ready to push it forward and keep kicking content out.
Dude, dope. I've heard some of your recent stuff. It's some heat. It's really good.
I mean, we try, man. We try. You know, not every single one's meant for everybody, but I'm hoping that kind of with broad enough spectrum, kind of be able to touch all bases.
For sure, man. Tell the audience a little bit about some of the music that you're working on. Like what type of genre it is that the people that haven't heard about you are in.
So I would technically classify it as like alternative hip hop. Honestly, it's kind of a blend of a lot of genres, a lot of inspirations from different directions, from Motown to like, we grew up listening to country music on to Wayne and J. Cole, stuff like that. So
yeah, man, that's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, Trevor is from the same place that I'm from, and we grew up together. Yeah, small town Alabama.
Tell us about where you're from. I was learning about this earlier.
Yeah, so we're from BFE. It's Putnam, Alabama. I think the most recent census said that we are sitting at about 22 people total.
Gosh. Yeah, that's quite the town.
Yeah, know everybody.
You still? I was gonna say you still know everybody that's out there.
Oh yeah, probably family members with a lot of them, if we're being honest.
Wow.
Yeah. The only thing, this town had a small country store for a very long time, but it unfortunately closed down. Is it still open?
Oh no, definitely.
Yeah, it closed down. They do have a vending machine, no gas station, no public health care, no schools.
We have a stop sign.
We do have a stop sign.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to get right with the Lord, there's a church.
There's two.
Two churches.
You got all 22 members of the community.
Pick your flavor.
Exactly. 100%. 100%.
And one thing I'm excited to hear is some of the music that you got coming. I know it sounded like you had almost like 60 something songs.
Yeah, I think we're at 62 finished tracks.
That's awesome. Like mixed, mastered, everything ready to
so
go.
Mixed, not fully mastered yet. Ready to be like sent off for that process. We're probably gonna do like a mix and match kind of like 2-pack, 3-pack kind of deal until we do a compilation at the end of the year, which will be a project.
Very nice. And do you have a name for the project that's coming?
We do, but we're not really trying to until we start like sharing the actual like little pieces. They'll slowly kind of piece together what it's going to be, and we've got visual content that'll kind of like display the story as it goes.
That's awesome. Now I know you and Phil have been friends forever. I got to know you here in the past couple of years during your time working at the car dealership. How was your experience, doing sales with us there and going through that?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
That's the word that I'll put. It was at a crazy time in the world. Like, I decided to move here in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, and not too shortly after you moved, because he came to live with me, but I think he actually caught COVID. Yeah, was that like
probably multiple times.
He stayed sick, bro.
Yo, and then there was this one time that we were just, you talk trash with your friends. He was talking trash to me one day, so I thought it'd be a good idea to like try and drop kick the dude.
Oh god.
So when I tried and drop kicked him, I landed and like messed my ankle up pretty bad.
Oh dude, it swelled up like a softball.
Really?
Yeah, and then everybody tries to have the conversation with you. It's like, hey, listen, you're not as young as you used to.
Oh my god.
Like, come on, like.
Had to try the drop kick.
Yeah, bro. And
did it connect at least?
No.
Now, I know you've always been. I know you've dealt with people majority of your adult life as far as careers go, and I know sales was not a difficult job for you, but the car business necessarily wasn't for you because I know you're a musician at heart. Walk us through a little bit about like when you first walked through the dealership, like what your thought process was, how the training went, and what you thought.
Yeah, well, it was a very different learning curve from what I was used to. Like I feel like there's a few different styles of sales that like doesn't necessarily work for every single person. So like the first thing that coming in, especially with a different style of product, different style of sales, is very like majority in your face because like
You've never sold cars before either.
right,
yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
like my majority of my background's in customer service, restaurant, bartender, stuff along those lines. But coming into the dealership, it was like I said, trying to find what style of sales or what style of that salesmanship fit me the best. So that learning curve was probably the hardest. But like once I kind of developed the knowledge of the product, I feel like that's where majority of my style of salesmanship lied, was actually within displaying, oh, this is what this does. Let me broaden your knowledge, because like I feel like your job as a salesman is not only to give the customer a good product, but also display your knowledge of the product and just give them the full experience of the whatever you're selling.
Yeah. Now, and you're in a high pressure environment. I mean, you worked in restaurants, so you know how that is, but it's a different high pressure
Right.
in the car business. Talk to me a little bit about like what that difference is between high pressure in a restaurant versus high pressure in a dealership, being worked in both industries.
So I feel like with a restaurant, it's more fast paced. So it's more like your attention to detail has to be there, but you have to be more on the roll all the time.
Like the volume of just the activity. Yeah.
Right. So rather than you trying to sell one person on a car at that moment, you're trying to sell 10 people on different things. So like
Memory has to be good too, I'm sure.
oh, absolutely. I don't write things down like unless it's a party or a group of people over like 10, like I'm not writing anything down. We're conversating, and you also have to be personable while you're doing this as well. So like when it came to the restaurant, it was more so like being able to style my service based off what the customer want, which is part of that like learning curve with salesmanship, is you like learning to read your customers. That's the biggest thing in sales for me, is that like once you can like, I know who you are as far as that customer, like it's definitely a breeze.
But customer side, like environment within like you, employees, management, dealership versus restaurant, drama wise. Let's dig right into the dirt. What's it like?
Restaurants are always more dramatic.
Really?
Always.
I find that really hard to believe.
Yeah, bro.
Because like dealerships are very, very dramatic. I mean, there's something going on in a dealership like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but you've got think of how far it's spread out. You know what I mean? Like I said, you've got you've got the desk there
Yeah.
that like
Your own little office. Yeah.
exactly. So you're able to go up there, and there's kind of a separation. Like with this, like it's kind of hard to separate because like
You still have to collaborate with each other.
exactly.
Well, I feel like it's the same way in the car business, because like sometimes you'll have, I mean, it really just depends on the staff that you have, but sometimes you'll have friction with either the management that you're dealing with, or finance that you're dealing with, or, customer relations manager that you're dealing with. And you have to go to those people to kind of, work through and resolve those issues, but it's still very dramatic.
Well, I'm not saying that it wasn't. Absolutely not,
Yeah.
because it's definitely. I feel like the amount of pressure is higher in car sales rather than in a restaurant. It's more so like you being able to deal with the stress of all these things being thrown at you in a restaurant, and with car sales, it's more of you being like stressed in that one moment. Like there's obviously other stressors that come with like setting up for sales and like you getting all your paperwork prepared, but like it's just that the levels are a lot higher.
Yeah.
The excitement's a lot higher inside of the car sales because the numbers you're dealing with are just proportionately larger.
Yeah.
So like on a given night, we're talking like,
And plus, it's a ton of money on the line if, like, as a commission, when stuff does start to go south.
right.
I
feel like that's both ways for customer as well, because you want to give them, like I said, best experience, best bang for their buck, but like you're there doing a job trying to make your money too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, from your experience doing, I guess, that and the car sales, any crazy or interesting stories you might have from?
Man.
Oh man,
dude, talk to us a little bit about like what's the funniest thing that happened to you while in your short car journey working there with us?
I had this one lady who was trying to buy a car in her sister's name
Without the sister's consent?
She had the sister's consent, but the sister would never like call and talk on the phone or never give
couldn't
any
verify
acknowledgement.
anything. Yeah.
Right.
So
So
you
I'm
don't know if the sister's dead, alive,
100%. So
You know.
she comes in one day and is mad at me because
imaginary sister.
honestly, bro, like I think she just had checks in somebody else's name for being really
That's how it goes sometimes, bro. We do deal with fraud occasionally. Yeah.
She came in with a check for the full balance of the car.
Cashier's check?
No, it was a personal check of her sister's.
Oh, with her sister's name on the
Yes.
check. Oh man, yeah.
And
Okay.
then she's gonna get mad at me and the finance manager because we're like, no.
Yeah, you need
Did they
like,
have a copy of the license of the sister?
Yes, they had all of that stuff.
but
They
couldn't get them on the phone or like FaceTime. Nothing.
Never. She's like, my sister lives in Florida. She's coming up here to like, she's getting a divorce.
Get her on the phone. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Let me talk to her really quick. And then she got mad because the windows were tinted, even though that was part of like what we did.
Yeah.
Weird. Interesting.
You got something that we do for
The-
value customers.
I threw it in for her.
The only thing I've had similar to that, and Phil, you might have had something similar, but it was with like a finance scenario. And sometimes too, and you've been through the car sales, when like customers are usually slightly abrasive at the beginning. They may have some like objections or maybe had a bad experience or dealing with other salespeople. But like, you ever have a customer come in and they are just like way too easy? Like it's just like to the point where it's just like something seems off, like they don't want to drive the car. They're like, yeah, that works. Okay, cool.
Yeah, 5,000 over, no problem.
Sure, yeah, fine. Just don't send it to this bank. Like when you put my application in, they're like, well, why? It's like I just don't like working with him. It's like, okay. And it's my first time ever dealing with it. I was like, that was kind of weird, but like whatever. And I was telling the sales manager, and he's like, we'll do your application, but we're gonna send it to that bank and then see like what comes back too, and then check everything else. And they immediately declined her. Like all the alerts started going off.
Red flags.
Yeah, and we're like, ma'am, we can't help you. She's like, well, like why? It's like, well, we checked with these banks and also got notified by this one that you've done this at 5 other locations in the past 24 hours. And she was able to flip through like 3 cars and whatever else they did with them. Sold or parted out or
Man,
whatever.
you got
Crazy.
Dude, I had a fraud deal one time. Sold a Mazda 6, and it was a similar scenario. But it was towards the end of the day. We were really close to hitting a high bonus, so I really didn't care.
Pushing the deals.
Pushing, did I? Yeah, I wanted them all. And got this guy closed, and but it's like something in the back of my mind was like, this is way too easy. So we do offer window tint there.
Yeah.
Made it seem to him like I was throwing this in. Bring the car back tomorrow to get it applied. But meantime, in the back of my mind, I'm just trying to get this guy out of here. If it's a deal, it's going to work. We'll give him his window tint.
Yeah.
But if it's not, I have at least a day, 24 hours to figure this shit out before the guy gets here. And so ended up being fraud. So as soon as the guy pulls up for window tint, we block the cars and say, look, you got a couple choices. You can leave the car with us and you can walk free, or if you want to make a big deal about it, we'll just call the cops.
Yeah.
And the dude was like, all right,
Yeah, and in most cases like that, a lot of the times the dealership just wants to get rid of the situation rather than like having the police involved immediately. But I
think that's like, looking back at it now, I think that's a bad thing because like if you don't squash the problem right then and there, it's just going to cause a problem to other people
down the
road
Right.
and bring bad juju to your place of business too.
So like one clip me and you watched or flipped through on one of our past episodes was a guy that got caught trying to go and finance a Hellcat, and he got caught doing fraud. And before they were like making it seem like he was waiting on the finance office or whatever to finish his paperwork, and he's just sitting there chilling. Body cam on the police. They just walk in, put a hand on the shoulder, and like, sir, you know why we're here. Go ahead and stand up. Ooh. And it's just like, straight to jail.
That's tough.
Yeah, dude. So walk us through the last moments of the dealership life for you. What clicked in your mind where it's like, you know what? screw this, I don't want to do this anymore?
I feel like it was just time spent. Like that my main goal at the time and still currently was like actively pursuing music.
Yeah.
So like it was like
Yeah, it's a commitment to work at a car dealership.
I didn't have any time.
Yeah.
Like
You get home after being there for 12 hours. It's like, I need to go to sleep. And then I got to be there in another, 8 hours. So,
right.
Hey,
it's your off day. Your customer that came in 3 days ago is here. I'm gonna give the deal to somebody else if you don't come in.
good Lord.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm on the way. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
we deal with that all the time.
All the time,
right,
bro.
100%.
But like, as you mature in the business, you learn to control those things a little bit better. You learn to have that line of communication with your clients. So if you set that level of expectation that you're off this day and your time is valuable just as you value theirs, they understand.
100%. I didn't feel like I had the leverage at the time. You know what I mean? Coming in as a like very, very green salesman.
And you're really nice. You were like
yeah.
I don't think you understood the concept of like you could be as straight up with people as you wanted to.
Yeah, I gotta tell a story.
Which is
about
good.
This man, like how one of my very first days, like
What interaction with watching him?
I'm gonna say for the record, I've evolved tremendously.
This is what you're shadowing him?
no, this was him being like closing a deal for me. But this was me being like, bro, this dude is like a pain in my ass right now. Like
He was just a lot lizard wasting time.
Yeah. Like he came in looking at it was a Z71, had like it was 2 years old, probably had 75,000 miles on it, had like a 3-inch lift kit, 35s, like an exhaust.
Yeah.
I think we had 32 on it.
Okay.
Maybe 34. He comes in and he's trying to talk me up. Like we go on a test drive, we come back, and I bring him in once I like feel like I met a brick wall. Like, hey bro, listen, like come break this dude down for me real quick. He comes in. The dude's like, hey, listen, like I know you got 32, 34 on this. I'm trying to pay 24 out the door.
Out the door.
Yeah.
So he's asking for like 12.
Phil goes, I'll give it to you for 18.
Just like.
Yeah. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm going to take the tires, the lift kit, the exhaust, and the rims, and you can just have the rest of what's left over, and I'll give it to you for 18. The dude was like
sitting there digesting it.
no, literally, like all he did was breathe. Like, yeah, like and like that's where it ended. There was no conversation after that. Thank you, sir. You have a nice rest of your day. He didn't say anything back. He just breathed his way out of the dealership.
Phil, just got up and left after?
Yeah. No, I think I have a Snapchat. He goes to the back and sits at a table, and you just see him for like 5 hours just watching Netflix on his phone.
I've evolved tremendously. Dude. Back at COVID times, how the deals were.
It was dead sometimes, bro.
Yeah, but like if you had the car, you sold it.
The pricing was
price. But then like I remember, I'm pretty sure I told you this. Like, well, where you went wrong in that scenario was it was important to qualify your customer before you went through all that. But you were just learning, so that was I think that was like one of your first customers.
Yeah, that was his first or second.
Had you set that level of expectation up front, you wouldn't have had to go on that far, and that guy wouldn't have wasted your time.
That's fair.
But that doesn't mean we couldn't have had a little fun in the process.
Oh, it was
while kicking him out.
Yo, I laughed for the rest of the day, especially considering this man never broke. I would say character, but I don't think it was a character.
It was just straight. I know he goes just straight like
stared at him whenever he left. He was like, all right, and then like I said, he walked right back to the desk, sat down, and just continued watching whatever you were watching.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, those were interesting times.
Well, any of the skills or knowledge you may have attained through your process of going through that, and especially doing the restaurant stuff, are you able to apply that to like what you do now as far as maybe marketing your music or projects and things like that?
I think that the thing that it made me realize was that there's different markets, and that you have to like you said, qualify your customer is a great phrase for what that is you're always trying to qualify your customer. You're not trying to sell in restaurants. You're not trying to sell somebody a porterhouse steak that wants a hamburger, and you're not trying to sell somebody a G-Wagon that wants a a Honda Civic.
I think that's where most waiters go wrong, and I think that's something that, like, and I've visited some of the restaurants that you've worked at in the past, that you do differently, that sets yourself aside from other waiters as well. Is that a lot of the times you go sit down in the restaurant and they'll just spew all these specials and what they think is best, and then never at one point ask you, what your taste buds were, what you like, what are the things. They never asked you any questions. They just hit you with a bunch of statements, expect you to digest it, and then the customer's most likely going to make a decision that is like nothing of what you said.
Right. It's all deductive reasoning. Like,
yeah,
literally, that's
then,
it.
And that could make or break whether they like the food or not,
Yeah, I mean, experience makes everything.
Because
like,
you know the menu better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when you ask me the things that I like, you put me on something that I love, and every time I go there, I get the same thing.
Right.
And like it makes you want to go back. Versus like if had you not done that, they got something that they necessarily didn't like as good, and then you might miss out on the.
I feel like it's trying to find what you don't like rather than what you like, because like we can narrow things down, and I'm able to kind of like push you in a certain direction depending on what your answer to that question is.
Yeah.
It's like rather than me being like, what do you prefer? I'm gonna ask you, what are some things, like, what do you not like? Like, some people don't like seafood. Some people don't want leather seats.
Yeah.
Some people want a sunroof. Some people don't. Like, we're talking like premium audio. We're talking like a sandwich versus a $250 Wagyu. Like,
so
there's levels.
That's one way to go about it and get a similar answer. How I ask people in the car business, at least, is to help kind of narrow down stuff for them and cater to what they're looking for. Is what are some must-haves for you?
Yeah.
Or tell me what is super important for you, or what you may be most interested in,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like using whatever their answer is, and kind of dancing with the push and pull of their interests and catering your sales pitch or upsell or whatever
Right.
to that, and understanding your audience and customer avatar is definitely important.
Definitely. And that's with the music as well, is that's understanding that audience and trying to progressively market to that audience and know more about what they're looking for,
Right.
so that I can provide that.
Yeah, transitioning back to your music, bro. I admire your discipline in like working on it like religiously the past few years, and that's something that I harp on a lot. Jackson knows those little things on a daily basis. You've improved tremendously from like when you started to where you're at now, and it shows. I mean, those of you that go listen to a song on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you can find it, you'll see that like it's good stuff.
So one song that you made that I like personally is, I think the title's Trust. And I know that one was made a little while ago, so I'm excited to hear some of the new stuff that you'll play for us before release it. We won't leak it or anything, but would like to hear it, and I'm excited for what you've been up to. And speaking of stuff we've been working out, shout out to our sponsor of this episode here, Curb Appeal TV. A word from them quickly.
Rev up your style with exclusive gear for car enthusiasts. Designed for comfort, made for speed. Drive in style. Shop now and fuel your passion. Go to curbappeal.tv to get yours.
And then I'll edit that in real quick.
Give a little beat.
and then back to it. But for you, I guess, what do you have planned for? We got 2024 around the corner.
That's right here, man. 2024, I hope, is just another year of progressions, for one, but two, releases. I've been very much like head down, like let's make as much music as I possibly can, and now it's at the point where I'm ready to start that marketing process, start the actually delivering of the goods.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a whole catalog full of music that I feel like every audience is gonna have something that they enjoy, from like renditions of like 50s bop music to like even modern R&B, like 2020s.
So
R&B
a range of styles.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be able to like touch every genre, but still be able to make it hip hop.
How did you first get into music?
Music's been like one of like my favorite things to do since I was a child. I think I wrote my first song when I was about 7 or 8 years old.
I remember that, bro.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I remember that.
I guess if you remember it too, what was it about?
About a bunch of nonsense that rhymed.
Was it like a rap song or?
No, it
as
wasn't. It wasn't a rap song.
Just being as real as you could be, bro.
As a 7-year-old child, talking about life, pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, your experiences so far.
Yeah, the bills were due, rent was late. It's crazy.
Oh, that's good. That's pretty good.
Oh man, but he continually worked on it. And I remember when we were like 13, 14 years old, we would
Freestyles, man.
we would take
Freestyles. That's how I started rapping.
Yeah,
Bro.
Phil
we drive
freestyling
around.
too?
We drive around town in our parents' vehicle, man, and just like we'd ride around and listen to music. He would freestyle. 13, 14 years old.
And this is back in the town.
No
y'all grew up in?
license.
Yeah, I'm
nothing.
driving in a truck that has no power steering.
It's
like
1
having to
a.m.
like put all my 13-year-old strength into the wheel. to be able to
No
turn it.
license, no registration. Just,
Nothing,
No,
bro.
there was no tag on this truck.
Oh, just
Riding dirty.
Yeah, dude.
is that how you learned to drive for y'all?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
cruising around in like
Probably
Dude.
four-wheelers, though, if we're being
Yeah,
realistic.
no,
That's kinda how we
four-wheelers
learned.
and go-karts.
Yeah.
That's where we.
Oh, man.
That's where we learned how to. That's where we learned how to drive for sure. But back in those days, man, like there was nothing. So just in general, like I think even today, there's really nothing to do but driving around. So you have to get good at driving around because it's all you're doing. It's just enough repetition of doing the same thing. You'll eventually get good at it.
That's fair.
That's why people that come from our town, I'd like to consider them pro drunk drivers.
Oh god, it's a sport.
Insane.
It really is.
But like you got to think about it as well. Like what he means by that is when we were younger, like at 16 years old, when you get your license, like there's nothing to do where we're from besides ride around on like random roads.
Yeah, or go to somebody's,
like hunting, fishing,
or,
outdoor stuff.
That's
like
it.
camp or something, and then you just gather around a fire, drink some beers, and that's all you did, you know?
No, there's one clip, and we'll edit it into short later, but I'll find it on internet. But it was from a news article of it was a town I think in Alabama where they had just instated the law where people can no longer drink and drive. Like it used to be legal. Like I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
It used to be legal. And they're like, man, this is bullshit. I
Are you
can't
talking
like
about the commercial or the actual news interview?
it's an actual news interview. People in the car, you see the open beer. They're like, yeah, I can't. Who the hell is going to tell me what I can and can't do? And then they pull off and just.
Yeah.
You gonna tell me that after 12 hours of work, I can't get off and drink a beer?
That's
on the way
exactly, bro. That's
home?
probably word for word straight out of the damn interview.
No, that was my uncle last Christmas.
Oh god. God. Oh jeez.
Oh, man, open up a class action lawsuit. And it's just like, have you or a loved one not been able to drive home and drink a beer? Please.
Call Kurt Repeal TV.
Call 1-800 Alexander
Is that the
Shannara.
image we're going for?
Call 1-800 Alexander Shannara.
Oh god.
Bro, that man and his billboards.
Or
Do you know about that?
No.
Oh, bro, in Alabama, it's everywhere.
Really?
If you're driving on any major highway at all in
What
Alabama,
is it? Insurance?
It's
or?
a lawyer.
it's an attorney. Yeah,
It's like
he
Morgan
got
and
pulled
Morgan.
over for drunk driving like probably 4 or 5 years ago, and probably represented himself in court and got it
away
thrown
with
out.
it.
Damn.
Bro, you'll drive down the highway or the interstate in Alabama, and if you see 6 billboards, 5 of them are him.
Damn. That's wild.
It's
It's like
insane.
you'll see the red and you'll see the white letters, and it's just like his face on the.
That's amazing.
on the, billboard and then the phone number.
In Atlanta, it's like the Morgan and Morgan or a bunch of those, and like as you're driving to like Florida, you see a bunch of like the Jesus Saves signs. You know? So it's in South Georgia, and then on the Florida line, we got those here. But
I haven't seen those yet.
if you go drive south to like Daytona, you'll see them. They'll be waiting for you.
We got the prayer mile in Alabama.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
It's just all Jesus.
It's literally just a mile of like, I don't know if you're supposed to pray while you're driving. That seems kind of counterintuitive, but like flowers and crosses all on the side of the road
Really?
for like a mile.
How did it like? What's the?
It is a straightaway, so it could have been a bunch of dead people that died drag racing right there. So
Well, there you go.
could have been that. Speaking of straightaways,
Jeez.
dude, dude. I was thinking about that. There is a straightaway. I would say it's probably like 2 miles long, maybe.
Oh, the Putnam stretch.
Yeah. And it's like we would just push any vehicle that we owned at that time to its limit.
That's where you learned what the top speed on every car you owned.
So
That's how you know a 2008 Chevy Silverado 2-wheel drive can go 145 to 150 miles an hour
Downhill.
floating.
God. Is that the fastest y'all been? Were you in the same car with him?
He was driving.
Guys, so you're in the passenger seat, just hitting the old shit handle, just holding
Bro,
on.
dude was on aux, professional. Like, it's a straightaway. Truck has no. We're in the middle of the road. There's like
Calm, collected.
when we say there's only one stop sign, you think there's traffic. Like you're seeing like one person on the road.
There's no street lights, nothing.
Yeah,
Just
and that's during rush hour, like going home for lunch or something.
God.
Yeah, there's no street lights. You're going in and out of hills, and it's just dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only thing you got to worry about is just like, because if you smash a deer going that speed, you're done.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's for sure. Now, one thing I'm interested to know, like, for you, Phil, your family is originally from Brazil, right?
Yeah.
How did they end up in this place? Like, how did they get there? Like, for real?
So my dad from Brazil, he worked for a trucking manufacturer, Mercedes-Benz in Brazil.
Okay.
And he went to go work in New York, New Jersey. And then he came across this town in Alabama. And, the rest was history.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah. And Trevor was one of my first friends because we started preschool together. And it was like I think it was the only private school in the town.
Yeah.
There was a private school and a public school, but very small. Like, I think the whole school probably had, 400 or 500 students?
Nah, the year I graduated, we had 290 or 300 students.
And it's pulling people from all over.
That's
Yeah,
like the whole
yeah.
school,
We had
not his
foreign
class.
exchange students.
Not
too,
his
bro.
class,
Like,
not his class. Like, my graduating class was 17.
Wow.
22.
His was 22. And we did have, they would have foreign exchange students, every year, and they would go and stay with this lady, Miss Peggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we got our culture.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of different influences.
What was it? What, was it a mix of kids, or is it like mainly white kids, or
No, this is definitely. I was the darkest one there.
Really?
For sure, hands down, for sure. I got called all the racist.
really?
The
And you're
racial
not even
slurs.
that dark though.
But
it's-
in comparison to what
everybody-
was there, bro.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
He was the only person who wasn't like.
You name it. I can't even name all the racial slurs here because we get shut down.
God, shit.
But
Cease
hey,
and
I
desist.
thought it was hilarious. Like, it never bothered me.
God.
Yeah. I would join in them, roasting myself.
Oh my
Yeah. But that was just that was me.
Man.
But yeah, dude. Let's tell them about that time that, speaking of hitting deers, Gavin, his brother, who we want to have on the show very, very badly, smashed a deer.
Which time?
Dude, I'm talking about. Was this when he had the Tahoe? Did he smash a deer in the Tahoe with a ranch hand?
Yeah.
Dude, he hit a deer going 60 miles an hour?
Nah, he was on the interstate. He's probably going 75.
They have the bash bar on the front of the truck.
Yeah, he had a full bumper.
Oh,
replacement.
so it just
So those-
disintegrate.
It just
God.
missed it.
So those of you that don't know what a ranch hand bumper is, it's like this
For cows and shit.
cast iron bumper with a brush guard, and it's just super heavy duty.
It's
But
a
still,
bumper
it's not invincible.
It's a replacement. It actually takes out
Yeah,
that bottom
it's a
part of
bumper
your
replacement.
So instead of the plastic bumper, it's just a whole metal.
Yeah, it's not a brush guard.
Yeah,
it's
like
a whole
what they put on the off-road rigs and stuff too. I see that. Yeah, I know.
Nah, kind of. It's a lot more intense than that.
It's like for what they put on the front of trains.
Yeah, I don't know what really don't know what it's originally for. I think
farming.
Yeah, so they can tap the gate with the bumper and it doesn't damage the vehicle. That's what I think it may be for. But nevertheless, Gavin, his brother, is a very ruthless individual when it comes to vehicles and driving, and I admire him a lot for this because he's just fearless, man. This man, I remember him telling a story of just him just cruising down the road, and he just smashes a deer going really fast. He doesn't even stop.
Never slacked up.
Doesn't flinch or
Kept
nothing.
going. Actually hit the gas.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Blood on the wind, bro,
Yeah, and it's just
as terrible as you could think it was, and then all of a sudden,
doesn't even know if it was actually a deer or not.
could have been a. Never mind. We'll save that for later.
Oh my
What's the
God.
statute of limited? Never mind.
Well, one story y'all were telling me involved him, a lawnmower, and a school bus. Can you tell me about that one?
Man, so I don't know exactly how old he was. He probably was early teens, maybe 10, 12 years old. So between my grandparents and my parents' house probably would have been a mile. And like I said, 22 people. So who's really going to be driving on the road? So he would drive the lawnmower from my parents' house to my grandparents' house to cut their yard. And on the way back one day, I guess that he kind of got distracted, saw something on the side of the road, and apparently a school bus driver coming in the same direction did the same exact thing and clipped my brother on the lawnmower, flipped the lawnmower, flipped him off the lawnmower. My brother comes up to the school bus door, knocks on it, and the school bus driver's like panicked, stuttering, and my brother goes, "Hey man, you all right?" Like 10-year-old, 12-year-old kid just got hit by a whole school bus, a full-length one, because he had just gotten off the short one.
Oh god!
And just a quick flip, like, "Are you all right, sir?" Like the wildest stories this man has, bro.
That's great. Oh no, man.
And then he's got other stories too. This man one time was in Tennessee and was in a 2500 HD, like a Duramax. And the cop, I think, clocked him at like 140 on the interstate.
Maxed out.
Yo, like pushing it.
God.
And he didn't stop for a little
Day
while.
or night?
It was night.
Yeah.
He spent like a few days not.
Dude, and he likes
in the
his
hotel.
he likes his window tint super dark.
Bro,
As you should.
This was negative on the sides and probably
Negative.
5 on the front windshield.
Yeah, you know those Instagram reels. Sometimes you'll see people with the tint, and they're just like that's his like he tints the whole.
It
windshield.
was darker than limousine tint.
Damn, bro.
Yeah,
So it's just black.
Yeah.
Just spray paint at that point.
Think about it, 5% on your front windshield.
Damn, I got 5% on the sides, and that's dark enough, bro.
Right.
But he's got like layered on the sides and 5% on the front windshield.
So do you remember the time that we were following him and we were behind him in the white Silverado and the deer came across the road and then went back and then came back again and I drifted around it in that white Silverado?
Yeah.
And then the other time, because deer hitting your car and you hitting deer.
Very
in your
common
car,
where we're from.
Very, very common.
Because there's not a lot of like people driving by.
Yeah, it's just
So
more
like
open
they
for them.
hang by the road for whatever reason.
So this time we were coming back from an ex-girlfriend of mine's house.
Yeah.
And he was in the back seat and a deer ran across the road. I stopped or slowed down and then he ran back in the woods. And then the dumb thing runs back out of the woods and just straight into the side of my truck. Craps down the side of the truck. Like from passenger door down to the tire is just literally deer and bro.
No, it's not. But it's not like when he says deer, it's not blood. It's straight poo. Like the best way to describe it,
dot,
the
like,
best way,
streaks down the
best
side.
way I can describe it is somebody taking a stick of deodorant and just starting from the wrist and working their way down.
God.
That's just what the truck
I
looked
bet
like.
he was cleared out for weeks.
Yeah.
Like I got stuff that man had ate a year ago out.
Like he swallowed, like he probably swallowed like a quart of oil and it was just oozing
Bro,
out.
he dented the side. Like, think about that. I'm going like 35. He dented in it was a doe, I think. So it dented in a hole like this size on my passenger door. Like, I have no idea.
But
how
we
hard that
stopped
thing-
right there, like because we were going slow enough to where we could stop like immediately.
Damn.
But the deer was nowhere to be found.
Bro, the
So
deer-
he took off
He was
running.
cool. He
and
was chilling.
He was good, dude.
He's like, thanks, guys.
Yeah, he had a story to tell when he got back, boy.
Yeah.
So you'll
man.
never believe what just happened to me.
Yeah.
Cleared out the whole.
He definitely had a concussion though.
Damn, bro. That's
Yeah.
nasty as hell, though.
You know.
That's so gross.
Probably needed physical therapy, hip replacement, the works.
Something, bro.
You know.
Well, we got a few minutes left, recording time left on these guys here. Anything you want to share with us or tell maybe the audience?
I got a couple questions, actually.
Yeah, all right.
So I wanted to know what made y'all start the podcast.
Yeah, it's a funny story. We actually had the idea in 2021, but we never really acted on it. It was just like, because in 2021, you can go back and see like on our TikTok page specifically, we thought we would make some funny skits because we saw some people on the internet doing it, and we never really acted on it.
No, yeah, we made a couple videos, and one of them we made. We didn't even post it on like a themed channel. It was a Miata review. You filmed it. I did the walk around, and it was really shot on an iPhone, no mic, nothing. The wind noise going crazy. Me yelling at the camera from like 10 feet away, and it got like 10,000 views on YouTube.
Damn.
Like no marketing, nothing. Like the first video we fucking uploaded.
That's dope.
And it's still up, and I made a short out of it too, and it got like another 15,000 views on the one short. and it was like really like quick, simple, edited on iMovie, and then that was like 2021ish, and then from there, getting to 2022, made a few more kind of short videos, simple, just stuff to like post that we thought was cool, and then really got kind of more serious about it as we were developing ourselves, our mindsets, and like what we wanted to do, and then really got serious about making it happen and taking the action towards what we wanted. And
so then we just hit the ground running, and we kind of just learned as we went. We still got a long way to go, obviously, but we're learning every day.
So that was the transition. Like that was the period where you decided you didn't want to do like more so like skits and like reviews, or is that like part of some things that you want to like?
I think the idea behind it, we always wanted to do the podcast. We just did the skits, but we just never really like.
We didn't have the space for the podcast.
We didn't have, not only didn't have the space, but we didn't like. I feel like we didn't. I don't know. We didn't believe in it like we believe in it now at that time, like in 2021.
Yeah.
And currently sitting here in closer to the end of 2023, you asked me the question, what's the goal for moving forward, 2024, 2025, and so on?
So at least for what I think, and I think Phil's kind of on the same page, is producing a lot more of like YouTube content for longer format stuff, because we've been doing shorts now for like 6 months,
right?
And we've done almost 400 shorts. Like if you look at,
I've seen the consistency.
Yeah, it's
proud of you guys. By the way.
Two a day for every day. And me personally, I missed only one day out of this whole time frame.
I haven't missed a day.
Yeah. I fell asleep, and this is like a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. And then the next day I texted Phil, I was like, yo. He's like, yeah, I saw.
Yeah, and I sent him the videos post.
I know, I had it all ready to go.
It was all ready to go.
I had an alarm set too, and I think my girl turned it off because I had it set for like 11:30, and I fell asleep at like 10ish. And she was still awake watching TV or whatever. She probably heard it go off. I was like, oh, what the hell? Yeah.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah. And I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 1 a.m. I was like,
Yeah, I also think for next year, for maybe towards the end of this year, one of my goals, specifically, I think Jackson will agree, is we really enjoy doing these guest shows. So we want to have more of these because we like hearing, about people's stories and things like that. And then we got some car content that we're working on too.
Yeah.
And we got our own line of products now, which is really cool too.
Yep. Shout out Curb Appeal.
That's another project that we're working on. But it's been an exciting process, and we're going to continue to grow. I think that one of the things that I feel like really at peace with is the fact that we're able to continuously grind despite the results, because like when you look at how long we're doing it versus like, and I understand a bunch of stuff you see on the internet is kind of fake, but what other people are doing, we aren't getting like significant amount of like results, but our ability to persevere and just keep doing it despite the results because we just love the process, I think will excel us faster than or further than most people will, because we look at it at a longer term versus like a shorter term kind of thing. This is eventually something we want to do.
Yeah, it's super important to enjoy the process.
Yeah, and you have to, especially since it's something like we're not just like halfway committed to.
Right.
For us, we talk about it all the time. Like we'll be on, like we'll do like walks and like walk and talk basically for like 45 minutes. There's a greenway that connects out in my neighborhood. And we'll just be talking about ideas and visions for the future and, what we can do better. And it really is just like an increase in percentage over a long period of time that compounds, similar to, just laying the bricks for the foundation of like a house. It all adds up. And if you can continue getting better every day, every month, every year by a percentage, in 5-10 years, you look back and like, man, I really did all those things.
Another thing that like I think is super underestimated is the amount of work that goes into social media. Like it's a lot. Like if people think it's just super simple and it's like not all that, bro. It's so hard. I'm up at 5. I got a lot of stuff going on personally that I do, but like I'm up at 5 a.m. and I'm not going to bed until midnight every day, 1 a.m. and I'm having to edit videos, and because we post every day and with the shorts and everything. Granted, it's not like a lot of like editing, but scrolling through the podcast, clipping the videos together to make them mesh well, make sense in under a minute, and getting the frame right, the color grading and stuff like that. It's a lot of work, and it's very time consuming. It takes a lot, but we're making it happen. I've learned how to better manage time management. I'm allocating time to specific things better than I used to and wasting less time. And just feels like it's just like not enough time in the day. You feel like you're never really doing enough. You know?
Now that that's a good problem to have, is where you're constantly working, where you feel like, man, I have all these things I want to get done, and I want to have them done, but you do end up having days where it's like, man, you can't just you can't beat the clock sometimes, So I think it's something that with anything, if you stick to and be committed, with music or sales or
absolutely,
podcasts and YouTube channels and social media.
It's all incremental growth, though.
Sit, man. That is it. Well, guys, we appreciate you joining us here, as always. Trevor, dude, thank you so much.
Appreciate having you
coming out, bro.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
dude, really enjoyed you coming out. Feel free to, we want to have you back on the show. Talk some more stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully next time we can have you and your brother. That'd be.
We got a spot right here.
Wait, what is that? Gavin.
Yeah.
Shout out Gavin.
Gavin, come on.
You're calling him out on the internet.
Yeah. But that's it, you car mother lovers. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you haven't done all three yet, what are you doing? Get your head out of your behind, and let's go.
Yeah, make sure to get some products, merch, anything you need for
buy our shit.
anything you need for your car or yourself, we have on our site at curvappeal.tv. Trevor, where can they find you online?
Oh, so I am across all platforms at no.namers, or you can follow my personal, which is chef.trev.
Awesome.
Spotify, Apple Music, same thing.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.